You know, dude, I seen this thing that said it was talking about addiction, and it said addiction is like, you know, people that aren't, when they're alone, they're trying to replace that addiction. Like they did this test with mice, right? And I think this is to be true. Like if they put mice alone with a drug, and then they all did the drug, but then they put mice in a fun place with a bunch of mice, and they all avoided the drug.
Right.
I think that's a true thing for me,
it's
dude.
just like stimulus.
Yeah,
you're
you
around
need
people.
stuff.
Well, it's like you need like. My thing is always like. You're not creating new memories if you're always going through the same routines.
I feel lonely. Like I don't have, like now I have a roommate, but I really don't because I never see him.
Right.
It's not like when we hung out. Like you remember we'd wake up, we'd go do shit.
Even then, though, it's like I feel like there's a certain aspect of life where it's like you can go on autopilot. Think about like the first time you went to the airport because you had to go on the cruise.
Yeah.
That first time you're looking around.
Yep.
What's going on? What's this guy doing? What do I got to do?
First time to Hawaii, I couldn't wait.
First time on an airplane to Hawaii to even to DR.
Right.
Compare that to the 10th time.
Right.
Then you're at the airport and you're just straight up. You don't remember any of that. That's all just like
it's autopilot.
Autopilot, and you're just going through. But it's like I eat at these same 4 places every week. So it's like I can't remember. I couldn't tell you about the sandwich I had yesterday.
Yeah, you gotta stimulate yourself.
You got to go to new places, and like as you're getting older, it's like shit goes faster and faster because you get stuck in the same routine. You're always going to especially if you're doing a 9-to-5 office job.
Right.
You're always going to the same commute. You're used to the same. You get in your car
that
here.
Same red light you always catch.
Exactly. Or you get merging onto the freeway.
Right.
You got to get through and that, and it's just like between your house and your job, you're not creating any memories. That shit is just dead zone.
Right.
But it's like that all day long. If you don't mix it up.
I need to mix it up too. I need to get more people around in my life.
Yeah.
One of the funnest people is when I lived with you and my buddy Dino. Me and Dino hung out all the time.
Well, it was also the pandemic too.
But we had fun.
Yeah, but it's just like as you get older, it's much harder to actually keep that kind of thing. You know, people are busy.
Right.
It's just harder to stay in the mix because it's like it's just not part of the lifestyle anymore.
Even like before, like my life, like the ships are lonely. Like even though I'm on a ship with 5,000 people, I'm not hanging out with them. Mm-hmm. I'm in my room. You know, I'm keeping to myself. Yeah. Maybe I could chat with them at breakfast here and there, but you know, like when I did Task Rabbit, I had more of a social network in general. I didn't know who I was going to meet. I'd meet like a cool girl.
Well,
you're
you're in an apartment you've never been in before.
Right. You're going to a place.
You're in somebody's house. So
it was like a game.
You get to look around and it's just like, you get to meet a person you're only going to meet once.
And I'm friends with a lot of the girls I moved for life.
Yeah. And it's like, at least you're in the mix, but it's just like, there's lots of people who live in the city who still, it's every day, same job, same commute. Come home, you eat the same sandwich, and you watch football or something.
Right.
But it's just like you're. I think that's why people always say that like, once you turn 40, time starts to speed up.
Yeah.
And it's like boom, next thing you know, you're 55, 60, whatever. But it's like the reason time speeds up is because you've found your routine. You're doing the same shit every day.
You're comfortable
Well, you own your house, so you're not going to move.
I bet you time doesn't speed up for those 40-year-olds that are uncomfortable, though. The ones that are
people who are still running around doing shit.
Yeah.
Who still have to struggle to make things meet.
Yep.
And it's still like bouncing from apartment to apartment.
Time goes so much slower when you're broke and you hate where you live.
Well, you hate where you live, and you're not sure where you're going to live next.
And you hate your job.
And you got to not even, you just got to the job. So now it's just like every day it's like I got 8 hours of this. I don't know what's going to happen. But once you've been at that job, even a shitty job, for 8 years, it's like you go to work and that shit goes by.
Well, that's when a lot of those people get on that boiled chicken and broccoli diet. That slows down time for them. They talk to you about it.
Yeah, but it's just like it's so hard. No matter what kind of life you're living, even if you're like a comic and you're on the road. And eventually, you've been on the road a million times.
Right.
You know what it's like to get on the plane. You know what it's like to go to this city before. So it's not even like you're creating new brain waves.
Dude, it's fast forwarding through time. When I go do a ship, I put my head on fast forward. 10 days are gone. Months were gone. I remember coming back like, you're working too much. I didn't know what month it was sometimes. I'd come back like, it's June?
Yep.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Well, just think, too, people are going on that ship. The passengers, that's their vacation.
Right.
They're going there to make memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going there and it's just
not
like
happening.
It's going there on a time travel mission.
I walk the track now because I found movement. I seen this thing about Einstein. When you move, time is faster. I
Right.
believe it to be true, dude.
Well, at least you're physically, your body's doing something.
I try to give myself little tasks on the ship that I know. I'm like, all right, I'm going to walk here. I'm going to go there. I'm going to walk the track 20 times. I'm saying hi to this guy.
Yeah, that's why. If it's like when I want to get Chinese food, it's like there is a place right there, but let me go to the place there,
Right.
way down the street, just because it's like at least this is like.
Well, plus you know the good spots. It takes so long to learn the good spots.
But once you've been to the good spots, now it's not. It's all second nature to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even like this food's good to me anymore. It's all just like it's all background. But it's like hopefully I get into this new situation where it's like it's all still.
You'd have to get in a different
Fresh.
neighborhood, though, I think. I
Yeah.
would be in the city, bro. I mean, I know you like neighborhood.
No, I
but
want to be. Believe me, if I
Yeah.
can make that happen. But it's just like the way.
I would pay the extra to make it happen.
I mean, the extra is a lot of extra.
Nah, you could find a deal.
Yeah, I mean, I got to find a deal, but it's just like everything is. There's a reason why.
You're going to have to start going to open mics again and see.
No, those people don't live in the city either.
There's a few. You'd be surprised.
But I mean, yeah, the most of them are living. They live even
Right.
further out than this. But it's like, yeah, the closer, the further I go into the city, the less comfortable the actual apartment is at that point.
Well, it all
I'm
depends.
not getting a place like this where it's like,
I mean, you never know. I mean, probably not like this, but
yeah. I mean, you're paying more for getting a little bit less. I would do it,
yeah.
of course, anybody out there. But it's just like there are trade-offs to it. But even if I'm in a new neighborhood that's like this, if I go to Bed-Stuy or something, and it's like your Fort Greene, Bed-Stuy, it's like that's a whole place that new memories.
Yeah, you get some good roommates.
Yeah, new shit. Even if I get bad roommates, it's like that's a thing. Then hopefully I'm on a month to month, and it's like I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with those bad roommates is, sometimes that's a real pain. Like, I used to hate, you go see the ice cream scooped out. It's like, motherfucker, it ate your ice cream. It's
Yeah,
like,
but
come
at
on,
least
bro.
I mean, I feel like even before I moved to New York, I used to be so much more intimidated by stuff like that, about what your living situation
Yeah.
is. But then now I'm realizing now it's like if something goes bad, it's like I'm out.
I had a buddy, he told me a story. We were complaining about bad roommates. He's like, bro, actually, I lived with him. He was my roommate. And we were talking. I was like, always trying to be cordial. Like, I didn't realize I was loud when I lived over here. I feel bad. You're like always coughing and blowing your nose and shit. But,
That's
it is.
the apartment.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
But still, I
can't-
never heard you.
You
You're
can't tell
quiet.
somebody not to sneeze.
But I told this dude, I was like, man, I'm sorry. I had I had some drunk girl over. You know how I do. I'm drunk too. I was like, man, I'm sorry. I know she was loud, and like not just hanging out in the living room. I was trying to we were trying to leave, but she was like tying her shoe forever. And I was like, I'm sorry that whatever. He goes, bro, you're a good roommate. He goes, here, I'll tell you a story about a bad roommate. He goes, I lived at a place and there was this pitcher, like an 8x8 pitcher, and it's in the kitchen and it's in there for it was in there for a few years. And he goes, one night, man, I just took a box cutter and cut it up in pieces. And he goes, I just got sick of looking at it. He's like, I was drunk. He goes, that's a bad roommate.
Wow.
I thought he was going to tell me a story about somebody else being a bad roommate. I'm living with a kid. I'm like, yeah, if you don't mind, please don't destroy anything of mine. Like,
Wow.
he's like, you can only look at a picture so long. I couldn't even imagine if somebody just cut up an artwork that I've done.
Wow. See, that's the other thing for me now, too, is the thing that I'm realizing as I get older and more mature. It's like you can cut up all this shit.
Yeah.
I have a laptop. I'm taking that shit in my bag. It's
What
like
about
there
the
is
dumbbells?
Literally not. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably take them, but depending on how far I move.
You can't move dumbbells on the train, though. Somebody's going to want to fight
No,
you.
I've done everything on the
They'll
train.
think you're tough.
No,
You'll
but
just
it'll
hold
be,
those
it'll be in a
dumbbells.
bag.
Oh, yeah, take it apart.
Everything's going to be all, that's the other, I know how to move now, too, where it's like I unscrew those, put the bar on this bag.
Yeah.
You put the weights over here, you scatter them up. But it's like the only question at this point, I don't know if I'm going to take my TV on the train, but
That's a nice TV still.
it is, yeah. I like the TV. And
I'd
it's like
bring the TV.
I'm not moving out of the state, so it's like I could always wherever it is I do go, it's going to be like 3 days of me just taking trips on the train. I'm an
Well,
expert.
the
at that shit.
TV, dude, I'm not taking that. You got to break it down to one Uber trip.
Nah, you should have seen the last month of my life has been like trip. Every single day I take one load of stuff out. I bought a dolly. Even like the subway, like the the MTA lady, I think
Yeah.
she recognizes me now from always carrying some
Get out.
object. Yeah. So I'm always, I can just point, go through the gate.
But you're a far walk. I mean, not a far walk from the. Oh, well, you take the M.
Yeah.
When you're moving, yeah, that's not bad.
Oh, I mean, anywhere I go. But at this point, I'm gonna break all. The only thing I'm taking, like, I know my computer and one keyboard, and that's about it. And the TV. But it's like, this is, a couple trips on the train wherever I go, and then I'm done. And if that shit burns down in the fire, it's like as long as I don't get hurt, as long as I'm not physically in danger,
Right.
It's like I'll always live. Once we've both survived this long,
Right.
in a city where we probably shouldn't, the odds were kind of against us making it this far. So it's like there's very little you could throw at me that I couldn't, especially now that I have money saved up. So it's like there's very little you could throw at me that I can't handle in some way or another. Maybe a week of discomfort, and then it's just like I'm back in the mix.
The thing is, you don't want to get a roommate that needs stuff. Like you gotta be careful. I lived with one dude, and he just never left his room. He was a lawyer that worked from home.
Yeah.
But he was so like obese and had a problem with his foot or something. They cut his toes off from diabetes, or like half his foot. He always was texting me when I was home, like, "Hey, can you get my food delivery?" And it's like I'd have to go downstairs and get this dude's food. It's like, what can I do? We didn't have a buzzer, like we had to unlock the door.
Yeah.
You can't say no to the dude.
Well, you can say I'm moving.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Exactly. That's
dude would
that's,
just
that's
come
the
out.
last. But it's like I think there's some people who are afraid to do that, or people who have like a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Where they're like, people say moving is like the second most tragic thing that happens to somebody besides somebody dying.
Yeah.
Because we've both seen it on when we do moving jobs. There's some people who are mentally having a breakdown.
Yeah, they can't do it.
And they're just like, I can't believe I have all this stuff. They get overwhelmed. That's like girls start crying.
Right.
While I'm like on TaskRabbit, and it's just like, you can't break me down to that level because I only own 2 things.
Then there's some girls that are too good at it. Their mom comes, they have dinner, they love moving day. They're labeling shit,
But it's like those people are the ones who like, the more shit you have, the more attached you are to the place. And especially if it's a place that's actually nice, if you actually got some money. Those people are like, I can't leave this place because I love this place. It's like any place I move into is going to be kind of shitty because that's the life.
Well, it's always a little shittier, too, if they have a pet. I'm like, I never want to live with somebody with a pet.
Exactly. I mean, like, there's certain rules you got to pick out, but it's just like very little. Look, I'm not going to get killed at these places.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's always like...
That's a pretty low standard you got going on.
Not even that, but it's just like before I moved, when you're first picturing what it's going to be like living in New York City, you get there's real nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
Situations you're
and it
thinking
is a nightmare when
you've had
first.
I mean, I think you were a little bit less savvy than me in terms of moving to the Bronx and shit. I probably would have found a better gig. Yeah, we both moved to the city.
I had no choices there. A lot of situations, I had no choice.
You say that, but it's like you had the same choices I had.
I just had no money. I had $1,000
yeah, exactly.
at most.
But it's like I have a job, so it's like I can.
Yeah, you want to have the pay stubs, and you want to have like $5,000 in the bank to show somebody.
Yeah, but it's like once you have that, though, it's like I'm not going to end up in a super fucked up situation. There's some people who are like domestic abuse or something, and
sometimes
they got to move right now, and they're in all this pressure. But it's like I don't got that.
Well, see, the thing is, places look a lot like at first sight. You move in, and you're like, "Oh, damn, this is cool." But then you start to see what really goes on. Like, I had one roommate. He just would come home mad late, have his friends over. It was a small apartment.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you just like, do you have common sense? He would be literally scream as loud as he possibly could, having a conversation with his buddy in the living room. It's like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? Like, why would you do that at 3 a.m? Sober dude too. But it's like, it was a beautiful apartment. But it's like, I had to deal with that shit.
You had to deal with it until you leave.
Well, you sign a lease though.
That's why I'm not signing a lease. I mean,
yeah,
wherever I go, month
to
month. Yeah, I mean that's the only like rule I'm making for myself. Wherever I go next.
And honestly, I'd rather live with a girl. I feel like girls are better. Shit smells like candles. Sometimes they make you a little thing.
It takes too long in the bathroom.
They do take a while in the bathroom.
That's my other priority is I need to be able to access the bathroom. That's why I can't do 4-bedroom, 1 bath. Living with 3 girls, and it's like that's a mess. I got to get out of there.
Ooh, dude, that would be crazy. You'd
never
get in the
standing
bathroom.
in line. Yeah, but it's just like I got to be in a situation where I can. There are some of these places too. If you pay like $1,200 to live in Bed-Stuy, attached bathroom.
Men are just too messy, man.
I'll deal with that as long as I can get in the bathroom.
I like when I
in-
open up my bathroom and it smells like some girly shit. I like that.
Of course, I like that too. But it's just like you gotta have to deal with trade-offs, especially when you're dealing with like a low price point. It's like you take what you can get.
Yeah.
But man, if I could live in a place where I had my own bathroom,
That would
like,
be
oh my
killer.
God.
What would you even do in there?
I use the fucking bathroom.
But you'd be
it's just
looking
like-
in the mirror a lot more.
But it's just like it's one less thing when you wake up that you don't have to worry about. Where it's just like I'm not gonna walk all the way there and someone's in there.
If
and
you
gotta wait.
had your own bathroom, bro, I couldn't even imagine what that would be like inside your room. I would never leave my room. I'd get a mini
You'd
fridge.
be so much more exactly. You'd be almost in your own place.
Right.
But it's like that's why they got those fucked up studio apartments in Manhattan, where it's like $1,100 to live in the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
But the bathroom's down the hall.
Right.
Everybody has like one little studio, but it's just like I'd almost rather have just the bath. You know, the
I
bathroom's
know a
more
dude
important
with
than
his own bathroom.
Yeah.
And even when I had my own bathroom, like when I had my own apartment, the problem with that is when people come over, it's your fault. Like you
All
can't
right.
be like, oh, my roommate,
Right.
the tub's a little. You always have to clean your tub before somebody
But the
comes over.
other thing too is then like after you leave that place, then you got to go back to sharing a bathroom,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're just like, man, remember back in the days, I
Yeah.
could just walk straight in, no, I don't have to worry about nothing.
I used to love that bathroom
It's like
door
being
open.
in a hotel or something. It's like I could go in there anytime I want.
I'll tell you, there was no greater feeling in my life than having my own apartment.
Making
you could
making me
get-
sad.
This is what happens, though. You could slip it, like me, dude. I slip in and out of slight depression. I think I'm done with it now, but I used to have an issue with it. And, dude, sometimes dude, when I was getting unemployment, I remember at one point in time I didn't even really leave my place for 5 weeks.
Well, this was pandemic too,
Right.
It's like everybody was going through that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have that same situation now.
But a roommate keeps you accountable to just like, you got to brush your teeth every few days. You know you're
I
gonna
think
see
I
him.
mean, like that's not going to be me because like that I have to go to work and shit. But it's like, man, just having that space though.
Dude, I loved life.
I can't. Yeah, I go on Zillow and I'm just dreaming about it. And you do that thing where it's like, this is my budget, but it's like, oh, if I spend $300 more,
Oh,
I'll
you'll
get
always
this.
push yourself.
And then it's like, no, what if I spent $300 more than that? And then it's
Right.
like, now I'm at like, yeah, what if I work 2 jobs and spend every dollar on rent?
My
And it's
last year at that place, I was paying, I think, $22.50. I was swinging that, dude. Every dime I had, it was 80% of my income, and I didn't even care. I was like, I had my own place.
Yeah.
I did not want to get rid of that spot.
Oh my God. It was just like, I can see why. I mean, like, I guess I could see why some people, if you get into a real good situation, it's just you never leave. 'Cause it's like,
You'll drop the money for that when
and
you
it's
just
like,
walk
but just
in.
knowing that you can't psychologically, you can't backslide from that back into like a fucked up situation.
Well, you could, but
You could,
don't
but it's
want
just
to.
like that hurts even more. For me, I'm going from one bad situation to another bad situation, but I'm not going from good to, I didn't have.
Well, the thing
I didn't
is-
see the promised land.
You don't know what the promised land holds for you. You might get a nice spot. Literally, dude, there's a lot out there. You just gotta be positive. It'll be out there because what you're
Well, no,
slacking on is you're a good roommate.
No.
People are gonna see you, talk to you for 5 minutes, and be like, "Oh, I gotta get this dude in."
No, the promised land is my own place.
But you might get something close enough.
But it's like there's a huge difference between having a good roommate and having your own place.
Oh yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
admit that.
It's not even comparable.
This
Yeah,
is like, I mean, that's like,
but there's still a mini promised land. I wouldn't be surprised if you got
No,
a spot.
I've had very good apartments. When I was the building manager at my place, I had my own place. But
If you pushed it up to $1,400 a month, I guarantee you could probably get your own bathroom in Brooklyn.
yeah, I think, it's one of those things almost too where it's like, once you start flying first class, you can't go
Yeah.
backwards then. Then
And
it's
I-
like all you're doing is trying to stay in first class.
Here's the thing. I don't want some landlord coming in all hairy all the time. I hated when I lived with the landlord. Like, that was bad. When I had in the Bronx, I had the whole upstairs to myself at one point in time, and I loved it. I had my own apartment pretty much,
Yeah.
other than the landlord would come up there every now and
That
then.
was when the place was fucked up.
Yeah. And even when the landlord was in jail, it was the best. I had the whole house to myself.
Oh, wow.
And that was crazy, actually. I actually was scared to sleep at night. That big ass house in the Bronx, the whole back gone. Like,
Exactly.
dude, an
Yeah.
animal could get.
Well, you're
there.
in a fucked up situation, but
Yeah.
you're in the best kind of fucked up situation where it's at least, yeah.
It was all cold in the winter, dude. I'd have to have 6 blankets on, a little electric heater in my room.
Right.
There was no back of the house, but I was, what do you call, and that was a good situation. I had it to myself, but I was a little scared. Like when I was showering, if I heard a noise, I'm like, is somebody breaking in?
It is a little spooky, yeah.
Yeah.
Even this place during the pandemic, I was here by myself for a couple months. You do start like, especially pandemic when you couldn't leave.
Yeah.
It's like you do start like going stir crazy at a certain point. You're hearing like, I can hear mice running around upstairs.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, you don't want a spot where the landlord's coming in your place.
Well, there's some of these places I'm looking on Craigslist where it's like Chinatown.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you'll be living with me and my mother. She's 75, Mandarin.
Yeah.
And she'll cook you meals. And it's like, I can't live with some fucking old lady who's...
My landlord randomly would just do some work on the house. So we'd be sitting here chilling, or I'd be in my room just probably not even dressed, and he'd knock on the window, cover up. I'd see him. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
You're supposed to give like a week's notice before you come in. Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? I'm building a deck. It's like, you just hear power tools at 7 a.m, and now this is the next month. Or they want to come check the windows.
Yeah.
I hate when they plastic off your windows. Because it's like sometimes I want to open my window. What are you doing?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. There are certain non-negotiables in my head where it's like, I need a window, wherever.
Oh, dude.
Because some places, a lot of places don't have a window. Even, and they don't even mention it until you get there. And you're looking around. It's like, went to go check out an apartment, and it was nighttime. And I'm inside the apartment. It looks nice. I'm looking around like something's not right.
Right.
And then you realize, like, oh, there's no window in this room.
Yeah.
And you didn't even say anything.
I lived in a place with no window, Lower East Side. I will never, ever in my life ever do that again.
That place didn't have a window?
Yeah, it didn't have a window.
Wow.
The first place that we were at, yeah, what it was is it had...
It was the Airbnb place?
Yeah, it had a window in the kitchen, so I was at least able to go out on the fire escape and be
breathe
outside.
Yeah.
You know? But the bedroom itself had no window. It had a little vent this big.
Oh, my God.
You couldn't even put an air conditioner or nothing in it. It got crazy hot. It was just... The cool thing was, like in the winter, I slept great there. It was pitch black. But in the summer, it was
still
terrible.
Need a window to look out, even if it's warm inside.
Then the second place I had only had one window, and by the time you put in the air conditioner, you're done. You need 2 windows.
Yeah. Well, you need that's when depression kicks in. It's when you don't have actual sunlight. You can't just look outside. It's like it's amazing what some people put up with.
Oh, dude.
Some places I've seen it's like $1,800 a month, no window.
Yeah.
You're living Upper West Side.
Our place was $1,100 for that little ass room. It was the size of a twin bed.
Wow.
That's how big the room was.
Jesus Christ.
No window, $1,100.
Yeah.
6 other Airbnb people. What I hated about that is I was there. It was me and my girl. We both, we were both in that little ass room. And but the thing I hated was it was an Airbnb. So you get all these European men coming over there, like in Speedos. They're all ripped up.
Always got some big ass suitcase.
Italian guys. And it's like, man, now I got to leave my lady with this Italian dude, no shirt on, all cooking.
Right.
Tattoos. I know she liked it.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where it's like, I feel like I would be able to spot that when I walk in.
Right.
That's not something where it's like, oh, you get surprised by it later.
Now,
that's
if it was a good neighborhood and you were dating a girl, would you mind her around a bunch of European men?
This is a relationship problem, so it's like I wouldn't care.
Right.
Yeah. If that's how the relationship is. If you actually don't trust this girl, that's not a good relationship.
Well, even if you trust her, man, those Europeans, they're slick, dude.
But it's like at that point, it's like you're gonna lose this girl anyways.
Right.
Yeah. She belongs to the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't press that.
That's one of my rules. If I was moving in a place, I'd be like, look, I can't have all this Airbnb shit. You don't know who's coming through.
That's why it's like I can't do sublets where it's like, oh, I'm gonna leave for a month. I got a guy here. It's like, no, that's not happening.
It's very rare that you get lucky and there's a hot girl in there.
Well, just psychological. Kind of look what I'm saying about not, new experiences and new stuff happening. When you come home, you want to be able to predict what's happening.
Yeah.
You don't want like new variables popping up.
And the thing is with those European men, there is a lot of arrows because it's a friendly culture. They'll cook for you. They'll want to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll invite you to basketball.
They're all close and shit.
Yeah, you'll tell them, I'm busy tomorrow, and then they'll see you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to deal with that. No, it's like I wish there was a website that was just for regular people.
Yeah.
If that was, man, that's the $1 billion idea.
What would they even name that?
I don't even know, but it's just like
you
if there
can't
was
tell people about
some way, yeah. But even like
Referral base wouldn't work.
Every single like system there is Craigslist, Facebook, everything. It's just like so many weirdos.
See, the cool thing is with you, but I know you wouldn't want to deal with this. If somebody the business management, if you really want to deal, and there's still people that need that, people would want you to do that for them.
Oh, building manager.
Yeah, like just like what you do, how you run this room, people would want you to run another room downtown so they don't got to deal with it.
I've done that before. I mean, like there's a trade-off to it, but it is just like I want to be off the clock when I already have a fucking job.
Right.
I don't want to be there worrying about like
7 o'clock. You get a text. I remember I used to get those texts. Well, they'll show me a picture of a rapper on the sidewalk when we had the Airbnb. I'm like, dude, what are you joking with me?
I remember it was like 11:30 at night. Someone just starts banging on my door, and I open the door, and the guy's like, "I'm like kind of bored of the color of my apartment. Can I paint?" It's like,
wow.
What the fuck are you asking me this now?
Right.
He's just like, yeah, I'm thinking of blue.
Who would even tell you that?
So yeah, do whatever you want. But yeah, some people just think if that's your job, then it's like you have to be the guy that's always gonna field this retarded question.
Wow.
Like, hey, I'm thinking about putting blinds up.
I'd snap.
Yeah. But it's like I'd be afraid to get drunk. It's like you never know you're going to get the call where it's like the plumbing doesn't work.
Wow.
Then you got to address that. You're on call 24 hours a day, but it's like I can't have that kind of. No matter how. Even I had free rent, and I was getting paid on top of that. It's like it's still the trade-off. It's like being a doctor or something.
And you don't want to live with a wannabe alpha male. A real alpha male is cool to live with because they're chill, but those wannabe alpha males, they're gonna try to fake some alpha male shit.
Yeah.
You gotta be like, dude, I don't want to deal with this phony ass alpha male shit.
I had a roommate who was trying to sell me his iron to iron clothes. And he was he was like a salesman. He did like real estate sales. So he was really like laying it on thick. I was like 18 years old. He's like, oh, you want to iron your clothes though, right? I'm like, no, I wear T-shirts. He's like, yeah, you don't want to wear a fucked up T-shirt though. That's why you need an iron.
Wow.
So it just went on and on. And it's like, I can't, I'm at home. That's the other thing. I mean, like you want to be at home. When you get home, you close the door.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like the outside world is still happening.
Dude, and the worst is like rooms like when you're one wall apart. I lived next to a tattoo artist, and all night I'd hear, you hear that shit. Dude, one night I had to knock on his door, dude, because you got to keep in mind, I worked 2 jobs my whole life in New York. So I'd be waking up doing construction, then I'd bust tables at night. So my sleep was important. I'd be lucky to sleep 6 hours back in the day. And dude, I had to knock on the dude's door, and he's not answering. I'm like, dude, I was like, dude, are you tattooing yourself this late at night? He's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, dude, the fucking tattoo. He's like, I don't got a tattoo gun. Dude, I realized it was something else that makes this dude was in there with
weird.
one of those things. You know that woo, 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 woo. You know the shit the ladies use.
Weird.
Yeah, I had no clue.
Yeah, just imagine if you lived above like Dunkin' Donuts or something.
I think living next door to a dude that uses a sex toy is worse than that.
Still, though, just hear it. Just like you never know what's happening downstairs, or
I lived above a Popeyes. That was the hard. That was way harder than Dunkin' Donuts, bro. The Popeyes closed at 2 a.m. in Harlem.
Oh wow!
I lived above a Popeyes during the chicken sandwich era, and it was a real thing, dude. People really were going nuts. That wasn't made up news.
But there's Popeyes, even more than KFC, has like a specific smell.
It's a good smell though.
And there's no good smell that you want to smell all the time.
I lived right behind a 7th Street Burger. Remember that? When I'd open up my window, you'd see them cooking. Oh,
my God. I would not. There's no smell that I want to. I want to walk into a room and not smell anything.
The thing when you live right next to a Popeyes, I'm getting off the train. I'm hitting Popeyes. That was the biggest. I ate it a lot.
You get sick of it?
I mean, a little, but it's still there, dude. They had the $5 chicken sandwich, $3 mac and cheese.
I think this is a you thing.
Late at night, it's hard to walk by a Popeyes. At 1 a.m, dude.
I would walk by that Popeye. I think it would be like the first couple times.
You say that now. Wait till you live above one.
To be fair. I mean, I walked by that Crown Fried Chicken.
And think about Popeyes blows that shit away.
Well, I never eat any of that stuff anymore. I mean, I mean, you get sick of it after a while, I feel like.
They put it all in the window. You see the chicken all glistening, looking nice.
God. It's so sick, though, is that everywhere in the city, every single business has somebody living directly above it.
Yeah.
There's thousands of Dunkin' Donuts in the city. Every, weed shop, Dunkin' Donuts fucked up, like kind of shady business. There's a guy right there.
The place I'd never ever be able to live above is a Subway. I can't walk foot in a Subway.
Yeah, that smell too.
Can you imagine?
The bread smell. It's just like, imagine it's just in your clothes. You open your window and you can still see kind of like the light.
I had a place I signed up for 1 week. I think I told you about that, Chinatown. It was $600 a week, dude. I made it about 18 hours. I couldn't do it. She kept the security. I was like, $600 gone. I was like, this is just unbearable. The roaches on the roof were like, dude, roaches on the ceiling. The smell of fish in your clothes. It was like, I can't believe somebody lives like this. 24/7 people cooking. Never stops.
It's all like dark.
Yeah.
The buildings are all
they
right
kept
next to
it
each other.
2x4. They nailed it below the door. So when you open and close the door, just to try to keep roaches out with caulking.
Wow.
Like, it was bigger than a 2x4. It was like a 2x8 or something.
Jesus
You had to
Christ.
step over a 2x8 that's nailed to the door frame to get in.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of situation where it's like, at least I'm not at that level of broke.
Right.
Where it's like, that's going to be an acceptable thing. Where it's like, hopefully I can keep some sort of, if I got to travel further, I guess I'll have to deal with that. I mean, like,
what about bed, though? I'm looking at your bed. You can't downsize after that.
Yeah, you bought a bed on Amazon. It's just cheap.
Right, but you got to go that size.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. I can't be in like a twin bed situation. Like,
hell no.
Yeah, that's not. No matter how nice the neighborhood is. Yeah,
I'm never going down.
Certain situations, certain things. I think though that's not like a unreasonable thing though. That's like you'll be able to find a place you can keep a queen size mattress.
I mean, you would hope.
But I mean, it's not. Some people have their heart set on like, I want to live in the East Village.
Right.
I gotta live here. I gotta live. It's like, I'm a little bit more open minded than that.
Yeah, dude. I've had
certain
places,
areas I won't live. But yeah.
I've had places that I knew for a fact I couldn't fit a queen size bed in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Even this room.
Yeah.
That room. Yeah. But yeah, it's. I don't know. All I can think about though is all the things that can go wrong. I have so little reference of when things are right.
What's some of your biggest fears? What do you think? What moving in with a new place?
Bad bugs or
God,
infestation kind of stuff, or I don't know.
Yeah, I had a place,
or even just literal physical danger. There are some places where
that's true.
You don't know the neighborhood. Sometimes it can get fucked up because this area is very safe. I feel physically safe when I'm here. So.
Yeah, you gotta be careful where you go. You go to my neighborhood, there's gonna be some issues. You're right by Times Square.
Well, there's just like it's mostly safe, but there are just like.
Yeah, but I walk around.
Yeah.
I'm not walking around with headphones on.
Yeah,
even daytime,
yeah.
Bro. I'm aware when I'm walking around. I see it. There's
especially block to block.
Straight up psychopaths over there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Imagine if it goes good.
I think it's gonna go good.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of my biggest fears are living with people that steal. Because dude, I got a camera, and there's people that just straight up steal. When people have a lot of people over in the living room,
that's the problem too. I hate that. Yeah, that's something you try to avoid.
There's just a random dude on your couch every night. You're like, dude, what the fuck?
I need especially I also need like a door that locks.
Yeah, the worst is when you rent the couch. Like I had that. I was in Astoria for 2 weeks. I rented a couch. And dude, you're just sitting there waiting for everybody to leave the house.
Yeah.
It's like 4 tech bros.
Well, you're late at night and everybody's watching TV. And
yeah,
you're like,
man,
I wonder how much longer this is going to go on.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there.
That's why I don't like staying at people's houses. If it's like I got to crash on someone's couch, it's like you're at their mercy.
And the couch, you never want to put your face. All their asses were right there. Farting.
Yeah. And then in the morning, you're just up when they're up.
Yeah, they come walking in, waking you up when they come home.
Yeah.
I hate it. Yo, bro, you mind if you move over? One dude was I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
I told you about the very first place I had when I moved to New York. I go there, and it was a complete ripoff. I left that place too, but dude, I didn't even have a bed, dude. I was offered a bed, and I get there, the landlord's not there, and I'm sleeping on the floor on like somebody else's yoga mat.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I'm staying. And the dude was like a wannabe alpha male. He's threatening me. He goes, hey, man, shut up. He kept waking me up. He's like, I'm trying to sleep. And I don't know if I was talking in my sleep or what, or if he was just trying to scare me. But I'm like, dude, what the fuck type of situation am I in right now?
Right.
Like, I'm in somebody else's bedroom on the floor on a yoga mat.
Right. Yep.
You got to be in charge. You can't be in a place where it's like somebody's just making the rules. I like being the one that makes the rules.
You do, but you also don't want to be the guy on the lease who's like,
Yeah, it's a fine line.
You got to find a place. I think there are lots of like decent people. If I had to grade all of my roommates, I'm at about 50-50 good bad.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the odds I'm dealing with here.
I'm so lucky to have the roommate I have. He's cool as shit.
Yeah, you got to. That's the thing, is that like the best kind of thing is going to be a guy that I kind of know.
Yeah.
Somebody at the extended network of comedy, or through you or through somebody who's like, this guy's cool, I can vouch for him. It's like, when you're trying to go out into the world, though, and it's just like strangers.
And it's cool when you got somebody that has a real job. Like, my roommate has a career, you know. He's like doing shit.
Yeah,
he ain't going to bother me with no bullshit.
That's true.
You get somebody that don't got shit going on, they got to fuck with you.
Especially during the pandemic when I was here, and it was like nobody was doing shit. It was, we went crazy. This girl accused me of stealing her pills. It was when me and Ronnie were living here. She was like, I had 8, now there's 6.
Wow.
She was some like, I don't know, bipolar meds or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, that's how fucked up you are. That's part of your thing. You think somebody's stealing your pills. It's just like, she was accusing Ronnie of it, and I'm like, I know Ronnie pretty well. It's like, there's 0 chance this dude is trying to get away with stealing 2 of your bipolar pills.
Yeah, I had that one girl, the older 60-year-old lady. She'd walk around in lingerie and stuff. She'd be like, "It's not extra." I'd be like disgusted. And then
God.
she made the best coffee though, but she had a rule. I couldn't. She lived in the living room. I lived in the bedroom, and she'd be like, "You can't use
uptown?
the bathroom." Yeah, I couldn't use the bathroom late at night. And it's like, dude, it's like I would have to leave the apartment before I use the bath. Like, it was the weirdest thing. Like, you know, she's like, late at night, I hear the toilet flush. The water would make like a noise and the pipe would ever. And she's like, you can't use the bathroom at night. And dude, it's like, this is the dumbest thing to tell somebody after they moved in and paid you.
This was, I won't say her name, the girl's mom.
Right, yeah. We won't say her name, but yeah. And then, you know, I got evicted for pissing in bottles. She kicked me out for pissing in fucking bottles.
This was the cat situation?
Yeah.
Where you wake up and it's, oh my God.
The cat ripped my suit. The cat cut my soup up.
Wow.
Cut my fucking suit in
That's
pieces.
the thing, is I can't live with cats. So.
You can't live with an older lady.
Well, I'm not living with any old ladies, but like any situation where it's like you turn on the light and there's more cats than you were expecting.
The problem is those older ladies, because I live with 2 different older ladies, they start drinking, dude. They get a little horned up. And dude,
my God.
You're in a tough situation in the kitchen. You might be drunk. I've had some strange conversations with old ladies in kitchens.
Wow.
You know, you got to be careful with that.
What sucks, too, is that we're getting older, and it's like you're getting past the roommate age at a certain point.
Right.
But it's like then you could get to super old where you're still you're still in the roommate stage.
I've been past the roommate stage since I was 19.
You say that until you got room.
I mean, I have to do it.
Exactly.
I've been past it.
No, I've been past. I mean, like, this was never ideal.
It was fun when
like,
I was 18, 19.
But, I mean, in New York City, just the way things are going, it's like we got to be so rich. Just how much do you think your old place costs now?
He told me, which I still know the dude was lying. He said he got somebody in there because he upped it to $38.50 is the price he told me. And I was like, I'm not paying. I was like, nobody's going to pay that. So he goes, I actually got somebody that'll do it right now. You can move out. I knew he was serious. He's like, I just sent you your security. And I looked and I had it. He goes, can you be out tomorrow? And, you know, it's like I was coming home from a cruise ship. And I was like, yeah, I guess. So I threw all my shit away.
That's when you came here?
Yeah, family moved in there. A girl, her mother and father, and somebody. My stoop guys even told me her grandmother. 4 people in that little apartment.
Wow.
Remember how small that place was?
Oh, it's too small for one person.
Dude, it was too small for me.
Yeah.
4 people.
Oh my God.
$38.50.
Wow.
But nowadays in New York, you could just write the price tag because there's so many rich people.
Just think about how much money you'd have to be making to actually afford that comfortably.
I would never.
I mean, that would be like
that.
$200,000 a year, and it's just like.
And that's still not.
that's
you
still-
should be more than that. Actually.
That's still kind of like a fucked up place.
Right.
Yeah, and
But you should actually, if you're dropping $4,000 just on your rent alone, that's not
Yeah.
you. You know, I had 2 utilities in my name there.
of course. Yeah.
So, and I think for a short period, no, I had internet.
Yeah.
And dude, internet, that takes you to, I had electric and gas and internet.
Mhm.
So that's 3 utilities. And then, cell phone bill. And then that.
Yeah.
And that fucking, dude, that electric wasn't cheap in the winter, man, or in the summer. That shit would add up.
And just think how far we are from that
Yeah.
to get.
I don't think I had gas. It was just electric.
How far we are to get back to that. That just the bare minimum. It's like this is still. We got to get so rich.
If I was dropping $2,000 on a place now with my mentality, I would need to be making, I would want to be making over 10 G's a month clearing before I drop $2,000 on a place a month.
And $2,000 is nothing on the place. That's barely a studio.
But
here.
I can't do it, dude.
Yeah.
20,000 a year, 24,000 in 1 year just for
But
rent.
even just like for regular studio, 1 bedroom, way out here is like 2,400, 2,300.
I might move to Ohio and just come up here when we do the podcast.
Yeah.
Eventually.
And then watch, even Ohio gets the prices go up.
Well, Ohio prices are going up, but the cool thing in Ohio is you could actually buy a house there.
Yeah, and there's more space. You go further out.
You could if you were to buy a house in Ohio, that would be your best bet. Something that needs fixed up. It's out there.
And you're stuck there,
No, I would just drive to New York 6 hours away.
though. I guess. Yeah, it's one of those things we don't want to think about it too much. Or it's like, this just gets it gets bleak.
It gets depressing.
Yeah, it's like it's always gonna be like this until we can get. And it's not even like I got to get to the next level.
Yeah.
It's like no, I got to get to like 4 more levels.
I used to be always jealous of those dudes that like just really just hustle and they just come up with the money. I remember this one dude, he was leasing a Corvette. He's like, man, that ain't nothing but $1,000, man. I'll make that. I don't know what he did, but I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, it ain't nothing but $1,000. He's like, man, you just gotta look at that.
Yeah,
I just gotta make my
$33 a day.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess when you think about it, but it's
Yeah.
like I can't just add $1,000 expense on.
I don't know. I mean, I've never been in a situation like you had with your old place where it's like I'm in over my head, but I'm still like making it work.
It's stressful.
It's
That's why my hair fell out.
It's stressful, but I still feel like you rise to the occasion
Yeah,
to a certain point.
you do.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's just like people who have kids and they're like, how can I afford these kids? It's like, no, you figure it out. Everybody who has kids, they're never ready for it. But you make it add up.
And some people aren't ready for it still, and their kid's like 23. I met a dude. I
Yeah.
never knew this dude had a 23-year-old. He's like, yeah, my son, he's in college. He came to visit me. I'm looking at this dude. He's like 2 years older than me. I'm like, holy shit.
If everybody waited until they were ready, it's like people wouldn't have kids.
Right.
Yeah. That's just how you got to think about it, I guess.
I need to have one, man. I need to have a couple kids, man. 38. Me and you both. We got about 4 more years.
You're going to have kids with roommates?
Oh, man, dude. That's crazy to
You
even
just
say.
got some guy in your next room that's like, oh, don't worry about it. He's going to leave.
Yeah.
And you just,
Man, that is crazy. There probably is people like that.
I knew people like that growing up. You like lived in a house. There's just some random guy who sleeps in that room. Like, oh yeah, that's Steve. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I knew a girl. Her son would never move out. She was, she was older, but just a distant friend of the family. But she moved herself into a retirement home just because he couldn't come there.
Oh yeah.
Because
you
everywhere.
told me about this. Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
My God.
You never know, dude. We might just end up. We might be retirement homes in 30 years. Doing the open mic.
This is why guys move to Thailand. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, move to the Philippines.
I mean, either that or I feel like you got to find some corrupt thing to do, like something that's slightly illegal, but there's a good loophole, and you just make a ton of money and don't talk about it.
I've been looking at it. I can make this. I mean, like, if I have 3 TikTok bangers a month,
Yeah.
plus I have 3 YouTube, okay, not a banger, but like pretty good, and I do some music shit, and that goes okay, I can make that add up, and I'm working my job.
Right.
So between all those things, it's like theoretically things could all level up. It's just like I just need to be I need to hit a bunch of home runs in a row
Yeah.
every month forever.
Me and all the influencers talk about when I'm with them.
Yeah.
You just need one banger, a real banger every month.
It's
Like,
so hard to do.
I know. That's what I do.
Oh my god! I wish it was that easy. Believe me.
Yeah. Well, that's why I post so much. I repost. This is my job too, man. I get
But
decent
it's just
money.
you know the deal. But it's like I'm making money right now on TikTok.
Right.
But it's like
you need that banger.
it's not hard to post something. It's so hard to get that a real banger, especially if you're depending on it.
Right.
It's one thing now where this is all kind of bonus money for me. But it's just like if that was actually like I got to put food on the kids' table.
Oh yeah.
It's like to do that I got to make a killer viral video.
Well, that's why those people start with those fake ones. Look, ex-husband won't pay. You know. Then you go to the page. Every video's like that.
That's almost That's why it's like I still judge these people, but I probably shouldn't judge them because it's like some of these people just really need the money. So
Right.
they're just doing whatever they can do.
Man, dude, I was in this Uber, and the dude's all talking to me about street shit and this and that. And me, when I'm in Uber sometimes, you know, I just like the conversation. It's long traffic, so I'm all lying to this dude about street shit, you know, just making the story fun for myself. Sometimes I just relate to people. I don't know what it is. So he's all like, yeah, I was heavy in the streets, and I listened to a lot of Lil Wayne, so I knew some lingo.
Uh-huh.
And I'm throwing shit in there. Then he goes, yeah, sometimes I record my Uber rides from TikTok. He goes, you're that Instagram dude, ain't you? And I look, he's got a camera fucking recording me saying all this
Wow.
shit. I'm like, yeah, let this shit go viral.
Huh.
But it could just be like, you know, funny shit people say in the Uber.
Right.
But, you know, you see those videos, and I always thought those were completely staged. Now I see how it could happen. There's an art to these Uber drivers to get the people in the back to say messed up shit.
Yeah, but it's also like the guy is still driving Uber, so it's not clearly it's not working so far.
Yeah, maybe he's not too viral.
Yeah.
But people do anything for content.
Yeah.
The shit I see for content to go real viral is like the husband's breaking the wife's puzzles. Nothing irks me more than that. It's like, you know that ain't staged.
Yeah. I mean, like, hopefully I don't get into a situation where I need this to work.
What type of shit would you do? I'm
I
going
don't
to
know.
shave my head for 1,000 views.
I would get a job. I would get like a real job at that point. It's like,
I seen the content. It feels like that Jack Doherty. I always mess up his name. I always thought that dude was way younger. Is that the dude? Is there two Jack Dohertys, or is that young kid that invented Twitter?
who are you talking about?
The young kid that's like viral, and he's always got girls in his videos.
I don't even know.
Either way, I thought he's the guy that invented Twitter. He was on the Jake Paul. He was like, he asked them about capital gains when he was like 14. They were like, how do you know all this shit?
Oh, I don't know.
But either way, it's all his shits. Like the cops came, you know, the cruise ship cops came. He has a video of him making noise on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
That's the level you got to do.
I guess. I don't
Or
know.
stand outside the post office and start recording people. You know, what are you doing here? Oh, it's my right as a
Right.
citizen.
Start getting into fist fights on the street again. Yeah.
That'll
All right.
help you go viral.
Well, let's plug some dates, huh?
Yeah, I got, well, actually nothing, man. That's it. Because I got my November shit. I don't even know. November, I'm going probably to the Bahamas twice.
Oh, wow.
And that's it. I got 2 in November, and I'm done.
Anybody out there run a cruise ship and you need a good comic?
I'll even,
Dom is available.
and, you know, I'll charter a small yacht. I did a wedding. You know, I did a wedding. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do weddings. I did a birthday party, a 4th of July party. Christmas parties are coming up. We should go do some Christmas parties.
It's like corporate events.
Right. See all
Yeah.
those people doing blow at a car dealership?
Yeah, right. Just go up and fucking bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anybody out there who wants to see Dom, he'll do pretty much anything at this point. He needs the money.
Yeah.